Meghan Markle has released the 5th episode of a podcast series, Archetypes. Markle focused her attention on damaging labels such as crazy and insane. Her latest episode, titled The Decoding of Crazy, and featuring interviews with Constance Wu, Jenny Slate and Deepika Padukone, tries to get to the root of the word. However, this podcast is such a bad look for her. The more she tries to seem smart, the dumber she sounds. In her intro to the episode, Markle stated she feels pretty strongly about the word crazy, and the way that it's thrown around so casually, in reference to women in particular. The stigma surrounding the word, it also has this silencing effect, this effect where women experiencing real mental health issues, they get scared, they stay quiet, they internalise and repress for far too long, she said. Meghan then revealed her own experience with recovering her mental health after years of intense scrutiny from the British press, and how her husband Prince Harry helped her when she was at her worst point. I think at my worst point, being finally connected to someone that, my husband has found a referral for me to call, Meghan explained. And I called this woman. She didn't know I was even calling her, and she was checking out at the grocery store. I could hear the little beep beep, and I was like, "Hi," I'm introducing myself and saying I need help. And she could hear the dire state that I was in. Meghan added, "But I think it's for all of us to be really honest about what it is that you need, and not to be afraid to make peace with that. To ask for it." But she originally claimed on Oprah that no one helped her find professional care. Meghan's mole on Twitter lashes out at Meghan's latest claims. The user tweeted, "Wait, so now Markle claims in a podcast that Harry found her a doctor note referring her to a therapist. So much bullshit. She can't keep track." In another post she said, "Spotify should have hired someone to keep track of the lies Meghan has previously told, because the fact checker needs to be fired." In March 2021, the Sussexes spoke about mental health in an interview with Oprah Winfrey. Meghan said she'd had a lot of trouble even admitting to her husband how much she was struggling, and that she was considering ending her own life. "I was ashamed to say it at the time, and ashamed to have to admit it to Harry, but I knew that if I didn't say it, then I would do it," she said. "I just didn't want to be alive anymore. That was clear and real and frightening and a constant thought." Discussing Meghan's latest podcast, one online user said, "Meghan has a very immature way of thinking, jumps to ridiculous conclusions, draws silly comparisons, and confuses comedy with reality. In her efforts to make a point, she invariably loses the plot. Just a whole lot of nothing, much of consequence from a middle-aged woman desperate to be a great spokeswoman for the oppressed and marginalised. She didn't fit in as a child," she whines. Well, guess what? She doesn't fit in now, not with any of her family or friends. These are just people that she can use until they've served their purpose. Vile to the bone. Another added, "She's a very shallow knowledge of, well, nearly everything except expensive vacations, luxury hotels, haute couture clothing, organic gourmet food, and the things she wrote about on the TIG. Everything else, especially when it comes to culture, art, history, literature, science, etc., she knows very little about, even after receiving an education that bankrupted her dad. If it doesn't directly relate to her comfort and happiness, she's surprised to learn about it.